Make sure you pick up a pair of thunder sticks to show your support for prostate cancer research. Get to the G early for this weekend's game. Donate some money and make some noise as we take on the Pies for the Richard Pratt Cup.
I'll start with the two blokes down the back end, Daigan and Jamieson. It's been reported that they're certainties. Are they going to play?
Jamison's a certainty. Daigan will go through today and train, and we'll sit down after training and go through that. But Michael will definitely play, and Nick will be up for discussion. I think it's going to be really close. Yep.
Do you feel in the years that you've been here, and there's a few of them now, that this is one of the best chances you've got to beat a side like Collingwood?
I think our form's good, and they've been beaten by Hawthorn, and last week they won. They're getting a lot of shots on goal, so it's a great opportunity for both teams. I think this is what we play for. Round 3, big crowd and arch rival, so it'll be a great game. It's a test for us against a team that's won the flag and been the grand finals over the last 2 years, so it is a great test for us.
And that's been the one knock, hasn't it? I suppose if there is one that people said last year, we're not going to buy the hype until you beat a top 4 side, and this is another example of I suppose, as you said, a test to beat a side that most people would agree is going to be the pointy end.
Yeah, spot on. That's what I suppose we've built up to make sure every week is a test, but these ones, I suppose, with teams above us is from last season is the ultimate test, and it'll be a great game. I think the midfield's battle will be a great one, but I think the forward line of both teams will really dictate who keeps the ball in there, and how the ball comes out will be really important in the game. And we expect Wood to play for them probably. He'll come in, so to give Dawes and Jolly a bit of a hand in the ruck there. So I think the forward line will be really important. Who can lock it in, who can keep the ball in there, and who can actually score from those opportunities.
Speaking of forwards, Andrew Walker.
Yep.
How far away is he?
He won't play this week, obviously, and he will be really close next week. It'll be down to the wire. I think if everything goes right, he'll play, and if there's a small hiccup of any description, we won't even risk him in for next week. So we'll make sure he's right to go. So when he gets up and plays, he can keep playing and get that continuity, and I suppose just getting the feel back of AFL footy again.
It's a big one first up for Jamo, isn't it? I know there's no easing into it, but Clokey's got a hold of you a few times.
Yeah, well, Lockie will play Cloak, so yep. So Hendo will play on Cloak, so he's done a great job in the first 2 weeks, and his form last year was really good. So that'll be a great battle. I think Michael will have times where he plays on Travis as well, but yeah, he'll play on him.
What are you expecting out of Michael's game?
28 spoils, no goals against. That would be perfect. I think he's a leader of our football club. He's in our leadership group. He's trained really well. We just expect him to come in and play his part and do his role. Is he the best 3 on the ground? Probably not, but what he does for the team and allows others to play their part, and I think that's what it's about. I think that's what's been pleasing in the first 2 weeks is about the contribution from a lot of our team. We haven't had to worry about one player dominating. Everyone's done their part and played their role, which is so critical for team success.
With Jamieson and Daigan possibly coming back, and Laidler and Bauer actually playing pretty well now, it's almost become a strength area for you. Is the defence now an area that you don't have to worry about like you used to?
I think the size of our men down there too has helped. We were talking about it pre-season and even last year a little bit about when you get too many smaller players in your back half, the versatility of that back 6 is really important, that they can play tall and small. And at times we did have Armfield, Joseph and Yaron down there, and that makes it very hard for them to slide on a 188, 190 marking type. So we've sort of got the balance right, and it's great to see Paul Bauer in really good form and playing well as well.
You haven't beaten Collingwood since 2009. Is that just because you haven't played well enough for long enough, or do you feel like you've been off the mark and now's the time to kind of challenge them?
Yeah, that's a good. I think we've had periods where we've played some good football against Collingwood, but just the way they've gone about their game and how they've made 4 quarters a real focus and how they've performed over the 4 quarters, they've ran games out and they've beaten us. Just I suppose the longevity of the game. We've had our moments, but they've had the whole game, which they've probably controlled for a fair bit, especially with scoreboard pressure. Hasn't been too many games that we've led early and then they've fought and back. We've had to fight back most times in those games. So I think the start will be critical as well.
I suppose it's got to be asked. I know he's an old head, but he's Scotland. Just quickly, how's he gone about the week? I gather he wouldn't have changed one bit, but just his focus on the game with everything going on outside the field.
I think it's a great week for Heath in regards to playing the old team. You know, that's one that Heath always enjoys, playing against Collingwood, and it gets him going. So, yeah, we've spoken about just focusing on the football and things outside the game will take care of themselves, and we'll deal with that, and making sure that he keeps his performance up and doesn't get, I suppose, distracted by things outside. But, yeah, he's been in good spirits, and he'll deal with that when that comes.
Is he going to have to miss any footy at all surrounding requirements to go to quarter?
No idea. We've only just found out, so they will take care of themselves down the track. I know it's in June, so when we get closer, we'll work that out. If he has to miss training, he has to miss training to go there, because that's the law, and he has to face up to that.
Carlton's been in great form, performed some really great shutdown roles. Who would he go to this week? Swan, Pendlebury, Thomas, Ball,
Blair. The list goes on. Shaw, they've got players in great form, and the Brownlow medalist just looked like he was getting back to his best, especially that third quarter. Thomas had 10 minutes of just sheer brilliance against Richmond and out of the centre, but I think Swan had 11 in that quarter and really got going through his performance. So he's one that I think can really change a game really quickly, so we'll have to have a look at his influence in the game. So, yeah, we'll sort of sit down and work that one out, but Swan's been in great form.
Scott McLean's been in great form in the VFL.
Yep.
What's he have to do to get a chance? Like injuries permitting, or?
Yeah, I watched the Williamstown game the other week, and I thought he was their best player by a mile, the Northern Blues. And he's knocking the door down. He's really close, but at the moment there's players doing their role, and it's about that. We have to get the best balance for the team and fitting into what we're after. And it's hard to push Chris Judd and Mark Murphy out of the way at the moment, and Carrazzo's doing his part. Robinson and these players are around there as well. So, yeah, he's just going to have to keep playing well, and he's doing that. So, he's in great form, and he'll get a game. But just at the moment, the team's in good form, and the spots are really hard to take off someone because they're playing so well.
Gibbs is a guy who earmarked in the pre-season as a guy who's really ready to take that next step. It's been good without maybe being spectacular so far.
Who's that, sorry?
Bryce Gibbs.
Yep.
How have you assessed his sort of first couple of games?
I thought he was close to best player for us in the first half against Richmond. I thought he was brilliant, and last week he started the game really well, and they went and tagged him and put a player on him to try and shut his influence down at half back, which just allowed Chris Yarran to get 22, 23 possessions. Bryce is fully aware of the role that he plays in the team and how important he is, and if he draws the crowd to him, someone else gets off. It's like when Chris is playing well through the midfield, Mark Murphy gets away, Kade Simpson gets away, so you can try and shut down one, but hopefully someone else gets away and gets going for us. He's been in really good form, and maybe from the media votes he hasn't got a lot of accolades and a lot of votes, but I know behind closed doors through the club best and fairest he's doing fairly well.
There's going to be 90,000 people at the G. How much do you feel that this game is going to be about momentum and sort of making sure you kick a number of goals in a row once the crowd sort of on top of the game and whatnot?
Yeah, I think most of the AFL games now are so critical with momentum, about taking your opportunity and scoring goals, not points. We've seen some of the games, I know even in our Richmond game in the third quarter, they kicked 6 straight and we kicked 1-7, and just kicking goals and being efficient that way and your accuracy up, because you only get so much of a swing your way. It might last for 4 or 5 minutes, it might last for 7, but then I suppose the opportunity is for us to break their momentum, and how we do that will be really critical in the game. But I think accuracy can really allow you to get some scoreboard dominance, and when you get in front you can actually do some things to protect that score or change the game a little bit. But it's when you're trying to play catch up, it makes it tough for all teams.
Brett, I know it's only round 3, they're all worth 4 points, but has this got a bit of Hawthorn Geelong for you guys? The fact you haven't beaten them for a couple of years, you're a top 4 side, you're on the up, chance to make a bit of a statement for you guys?
I think it's good for our players to have the challenge. I think it'll be a great chance to see if we have improved from 2-11 to 2-12, and I think these challenges are so critical for teams, and especially early doors too. You get a real good insight about our offence, our defence and our stoppage setup to say, geez, that's one thing that we've been really pleased with going forward. We've made some progression in that area, or gee, we have fallen away in some areas of the game. So I think that'll be something that after the game we'll assess it and say there's been a big tick or maybe a big cross.